focus of the Wound Healing Foundation is awareness, research, and education about wounds and wound healing. And a big part of that is focused on patients and their care and their needs.
What we found is that people don't know a lot about wounds. They don't know a lot about how to care for them. There is fracturing in the community of the people who take care of them. So it doesn't surprise us that patients and their caregivers are really stretched to find ways to educate themselves about it.
One of the most important things that the foundation does on an annual basis is some of our programs to public outreach. We do this by offering education, in-kind donations to wound healing patients and wounded military veterans, and be able to provide for them not only some of the items that they might need, but also education to help them as they journey to recovery. In the United States alone, there's over 6.5 million people with chronic wounds, and that doesn't even include the number with issues with scarring and burn. And of these 6.5 million people, there's over $25 billion spent annually just in the U.S. So you can imagine how that increases when you go worldwide. So the Wound Healing Foundation is a volunteer organization, and all of the board of directors volunteer their time.
It's a cross-section, really, of people who are taken with the mission and with the idea of helping that dispossessed segment of our society. So many of us are actively involved in the day-to-day care of wounds. For others, it's because they work for companies where that's a major role. And then we also have some representation on the board from the Wound Healing Society by virtue of the fact that we are united in our goals in many ways.
I think the future of wound healing field is going to be dependent on how we encourage this next generation of scientists. And that's true for any field of science. You need to work on those junior faculty, but especially now when it's very, very difficult to get funded, this foundation takes the front seat in providing that grassroots movement. The presence of a foundation like this is a lifeline, is really key important feature to make us continue working in this field.
So I would say the future of the foundation really lies in trying to make available meaningful grants that exceed what we're currently able to do, that will allow people to remain in the field and to make progress in the science of both acute and chronic wounds and scarring, those kinds of things that impact patients hugely in a meaningful way. And that the next time we sit down for one of these, we'll be able to announce 6-figure grants or 7-figure grants as opposed to modest figures that we're hitherto able to support.